Hello, welcome to another episode of Xenon 2 Breakdown. This time we're gonna look at depthOFF and how to record that in TF2 and how you edit it, I guess. I like to preface by saying this is not a tutorial, it's just how I do it. I'm gonna go through things relatively fast, so it's very complicated how you do it, but I'm gonna make it look easy by first having my own written guide on how to do this. I wrote this little guide just so I always remember how to do this, because I forget too. But I start off by opening Lavina. Yeah. So when you open TF2, you're gonna close it straight up down again. But before you do that, you have to close down the wrong one. Lavina. Close this one without closing TF2. After you close Lavina, then you close TF2. Why do we want to do that? We want to keep HLAE open because now it contains the settings for your Lavina. It's because I don't know how to really use HLAE to keep all the settings that you have for your Lavina recordings. This is my workaround. I'm sure you can do it straight off from HLAE itself. I have it right here. I'm sure you can do it from here. I don't know how. So I made this little workaround. But from here we want to open a custom loader. I have luckily always had this prepared. You copy that into the command line, and then you want to inject the reshade. And the reshade here is the thing plugin. I don't know. It's a DLL. Reshade is the thing that makes it so you can record in depthOFF. Sorry, you're on TF2 using HLE, which has reshade into it. When that's open, you have some commands we want to put in. The resolution I put here is not necessarily what you need. You can use another resolution. I just use this for 1080p recordings, if I'm not wrong. And you want the anti-aliasing to be 0. You cannot do this with the anti-aliasing because then the reshade breaks and there is not going to be any depth field. Okay, so I have made a huge config file. Some of them is default made by Lavina, others are very much my own. Normally, because of the what's called resolution, you put TF2 now looks at this, and your mouse is not exactly where your cursor is. It's not exactly where it thinks in the game. Right now, I can click here for browse server. I'm not gonna, but that's not where my cursor is. So it's gonna be really hard to navigate. I have bound F9 to be a toggle between funny resolution and normal TF2, where your mouse actually is. Like now, my mouse actually follows. Yeah, my cursor follows the TF2. F9 to toggle depth shaders, and F11 to toggle GUI. Play the demo file. I press F11. You see, now you're saying I can't see anything. Nothing has changed. There's no depth field. You're lying to me. But TF2 is actually running 2 instances at once. On the main monitor that you're looking here right now is just normal TF2. Don't judge my gameplay. On the second monitor that you cannot see, it's running TF2 with the what's called depth layer. Now, if you have multiple monitors and your monitor is on the right side, then you can see it. If you don't have multiple monitors, you just have to pray and hope for the best. I don't know if there's any other ways of doing it. I just have multiple monitors. I can, on the other hand, show you how it looks like. That is my second monitor. My second monitor is low resolution, that's why you only see a part of it. But this is the depth layer, and it's pretty sick. Now, what you can do with this is many things. First thing first, we can press home, and then I found out I was explaining while you couldn't see anything. I figured this out later. I found a way to show both the depth of field and the settings at the same time. Perfect. Anyways, I normally keep this as default, but you can play around with them if you want. And you know, it's just when do you want it to start, when do you want it to end, etc, etc. You can play around with it as much as you want. Personally, I keep it default and edit it in post, but that means you lose a bit of details. So sometimes you want to actually do it in game, and I do that too sometimes for specific shots. Otherwise, it's up to you to play however you want with this thing. It's pretty simple. After you play around with the settings, you probably want to record. So if you want to record, I use MSI Afterburner. You can use other recording programs. I don't know exactly what works, but what it requires is that you can record both instances at once. So you can't just record your main monitor. You have to record both instances of TF2. I won't really go over settings. And so you want to record, you have to click on, I have a bind for it, which enables the recording mode. Oh, And on the second monitor, I will show you, it all goes slow-mo. I have it as a toggle to make it easy. And if I want to record, I do Alt Home, and you see on the top left, which you cannot see. On the top left, you can see the square rotating around. That means it's recording. You have this square to know that recording, but do remove the overlay, otherwise it's gonna stay in the video. And then now, it's just slowly recording TF2. You're not gonna have any audio while you are recording this depth of field. So whenever you do any smoothing like this, and this is usually for smoothing, not so much for POV, but when you do smoothing, just know you have no audio. When you're done with recording, you just do the bind again and it finishes. And there we go. Oh, there we go. You see that the screen goes black on the depth field, and then now it's back. That can happen randomly. I don't know when it happens or why it happens, but randomly it will go black. And when it does, you have to re-record. There's no way around it. You just have to record again. When you're done recording, you'll have your recording file right here. Cool. I have it right there. Perfect. And then you need to use FFmpeg, everyone's favorite. I don't even know what it is. Where did I download this from again? I don't remember, but I have it ready. And you can just separate the layers, and then it does it for you. Ah, perfect. And when that's done, you have the depth video, and you have the world. Wow, it's the exact same thing. And that's, yes, exactly top left. You can see it's still there, but later on I removed it. Just remember to do that. Here you have both of them combined. The color's a bit weird. Don't care. Don't, just ignore that. It means nothing. Now you want to open After Effects or whatever program you use to edit your videos in. While it's loading, I might also tell you that to make this work, you need to install UT Video. It says so on the guide on GitHub on how to record a field. My own guide is a bit different because I want to use it together with Lavina. That guide does not require Lavina. You can just record TF2 normally, but then you're missing your settings that you have from Lavina, like the high graphics settings, the skybox, or whatever. We can just drag and drop. I'm gonna use Xenon too because they have the same effects. How I do it here is gonna be so slightly different from how I do it in actual frag movie making, but it's somewhat the same process. You want the depth to be on top and world bottom. I actually don't think that matters, but that's what I've been doing. You can add an effect. I'm using Frisch Luft, what's called depth of field, because it looks better than the standard one in After Effects. It's just a plugin that I cracked. You want to pick the layer that has the depth of field on it. You want to take it with mask and effect, and you want to give the radius 25. Correct button. You can invert it if you want the things far away to be blurry or the things close by to be blurry. Now you see that these crates down here, the crate here and the ground here, pretty clear. But if I don't invert it, then you see that, come on, click, and then you see the skybox is clear, but everything else is pretty blurry. For this effect, let's say we want the distance to be blurry. Let's just say that. But let's say we want everything from the heavy and backwards to be blurry. And then you see heavy is black. Okay, so black means that it's not blurry. Bloop. That's not depth of field. This is not how true depth of field works. If you want true depth of field, you need the things close by to be blurry and the things far away to be blurry, and only a certain point, depending on the focal length. I think it's called focal point. Thank you. And that's why this is fake depth of field. So you might want to make it like this, but then we see that these corners are pretty edgy. It's like, it doesn't look right. And to prevent that, you can use blur, any kind of blur. Again, I just used a specific kind of blur, and then we can soften out the edges just a little bit, so it's not as harsh. It does have some other problems. You can play around with it so it looks good. And that's how you do the field. It's more simple than I remembered. I remember spending more time with this. Oh, maybe it's just that simple. Alright, see you next time.